Katie, I'm walking up to the roof of our building for the perfect spot to introduce a story about a man who's transformed the helicopter industry. Helicopter pads like this one can be found in the top of skyscrapers across the globe. But now, thousands more smaller helipads have been built in backyards, farms, and ranches. And it's all because of Frank Robison. As a young engineer, he envisioned building a personal helicopter, more affordable than what was already on the market.
I became completely fascinated and intrigued with helicopters from the time when I was about 9 or 10 years old, and I saw a picture of the Igor Sikorsky's VS-300. He was hovering it over in this picture, and the fact that somebody could actually build a heavier-than-air flying machine that could move in any direction, forwards, backwards, sidewards, just really fascinated me.
All day long, Model R-22 and R-44 helicopters take off and land from Torrance Airport, home base to the Robison Helicopter Factory. Mr. Robison recently took us on a tour of the facility.
So I worked for 6 different helicopter manufacturers over a period of 16 years to get all of the different background.
He started his company in 1973 and worked on a prototype for several years before it was ready for market. When he introduced the R-22 and later the R-44 models, they broke records for small helicopter performance, and sales took off. The company has sold close to 9,000 worldwide, some purchased by individuals who wanted their own private helicopters. Today, the world's most popular helicopter is the R-44 Raven. This year, Robison introduced a new model, the R-66. The unveiling ceremony, held in a hangar at the factory, was attended by helicopter aficionados from around the world. The R-66 uses a Rolls-Royce turbine engine, which has more power than the piston engines on the other 2 models. The R-66 is still awaiting FAA approval before the Robison Company can sell it to the public.
I expect it to take probably another 9 or 10 months. Last year we built 893 helicopters.
When we asked who he admires most, he named industrialist Henry Ford. It can be said that Mr. Robison is in fact the Henry Ford of the helicopter industry. His factory is set up as an assembly line. Helicopter components and parts are manufactured in a very structured and efficient workflow, and Frank Robison has control over every step of the process.
You put the engines on a dynamometer and run them at wide open throttle, and they take down all of the data, everything.
But this man is no micromanager. He believes the key to building a good helicopter is to thoroughly train employees and then to hold on to them. More than 1,000 people work here. During our tour, he introduced us to several of the staff in the factory.
So what are you welding?
Door handles.
Helicopters in general are complicated machines. Robison designed his rotor wings with fewer parts in the powertrain, simplifying maintenance. Using all types of equipment, including computerized lathes, the workers at Robison make many of the parts, unlike other aircraft manufacturers who outsource production to outside companies. During the tour, Mr. Robison showed us several machines he had purchased in Germany. They perform high-precision measurements for the extreme tolerances needed on helicopter parts. When we asked him about the accident rates on the R-22 and the R-44, Mr. Robison explained that FAA standards were too low for helicopter flight instructors, which meant new pilots were not receiving adequate training. Now, thanks to his lobbying efforts, the FAA has quadrupled the minimum number of hours needed to become a helicopter flight instructor. But accidents still occur, and Mr. Robison says his staff investigates each one.
Many times I would actually go out to the accident scene myself and participate personally in the investigation, but in all of those cases I would send one of our employees who has been trained in helicopter accident investigation.
In 2008, Mr. Robison received a call from the White House, which turned into an unforgettable experience for the entire staff at the factory.
We were contacted by some of the White House staff asking a lot of questions. Then I received a message from President Bush asking me to send him an invitation to visit my factory. And so, well, you know, you're not going to turn that down. So I did, and within just a few days after that, he flew clear across the United States from Washington to out here to California. It was quite impressive, and the employees just loved it. It was a very good morale builder for the employees, and escorted the president all through the factory. And that's the thing that I think probably will be our legacy in the industry, will be the fact that we have kept things very simple, and the helicopters are very reliable.